All of you, welcome to the first unit class of neural networks. So here we'll be covering about what are the neural networks, and we'll be studying about the description of the biological neural network. So basically, what is a neural network? Work on an artificial neural networks is commonly referred to as neural network, and it has been motivated right from its inception by the recognition that the human brain computes in an entirely different way from the conventional digital computer. As you know, our brain is highly complex, non-linear and a parallel computer. That is, it is able to process information. So it has capability to organize its structural constituents, which is known as neurons, so as to perform computations. The similar type of perception is being implemented in case of neural networks with the implementation of artificial usage, that is our machines, electronics, etc. Now, when you see in the general form, a neural network is a machine that is designed to model the way in which the brain performs a particular task or function of interest. The network is usually implemented by using electronic components or is simulated in software on a digital computer. As I've already told, we are trying to implement the neural logic with respect to the machine. Now here, to achieve good performance, neural networks employ the massive interconnection of simple computing cells referred to as neurons, or called as processing units. Now if you see these points, important points which have been focused in this book, a neural network is a massively parallel distributed processor made of simple processing units that have the natural propensity for storing experiential knowledge and making it available for use. It resembles the brain in two aspects. So being from engineering point of view, we are trying to make an artificial machine which is capable of performing the brain like task. So first, what does the brain do? First, the brain understands, records the information, and when it is required, it also processes them. So similar type of work we need to do it. We need a machine to do it. So for that, we'll study about the working of the brain, so that we can incorporate those features in the network. So what are the two aspects which are important with respect to the human brain? So whatever in the neural network, the term neural itself is saying that we are comparing the work with respect to the brain, where the neuron is playing the credential role. So what are the two aspects? The first one is knowledge is acquired by the network from its environment through a learning process. So first is the learning process, so that we can get the information, and the second one is the interneuron connection strengths known as synaptic weights are used to store the acquired knowledge. So then we are storing the information what we are getting. Okay, so the procedure what is used to perform the learning, it is called as learning algorithm. That is the procedure to learn, we are saying it as the learning algorithm. Now what are the benefits of this neural networks? The first benefit is the non-linearity. The second is the input-output mapping. Third one is the adaptivity. Fourth one is evident response. Fifth one is contextual information. Sixth one is fault tolerance. Seventh is VLSI implementability. Eighth one is uniformity of analysis and design. Ninth is neurobiological analogy. So these are the 9 benefits of having neural networks. So these benefits, 9 benefits, from the name itself you can understand what is the purpose of that benefit. So non-linearity, if you consider, a non-linearity is required because a brain needs to be having an aspect of understanding the non-linearity behavior also. So we need to make our machine that much compatible. Second is the input-output mapping, means to the output what we require, we should have the required input. So we should be having the information such that we can produce the required output. Similar way, Other benefits of neural networks can also be understood. A deep go through of the points is required so as to score beneficial and also understand the subject. So go through the entire points of the neural networks, that is the benefits of the neural networks, these 9 Now coming to the human brain. Now the human brain is a very important aspect in this point, because the neural network is being extracted from the performance of the human brain only. So how well you understand the human brain, the well you can implement this with respect to your artificial neural network. Now if you see the human nervous system, it may be viewed as 3 stages. Okay, what are that? Directly we'll go to the block diagram only. First is when you get the stimulus, you have the receptors, then you have a neural net, then you have the effectors, then you have the response. Okay, so from the response again you go to the stimulus. So this is the block diagram representation of the nervous system. Now central to the system is the brain, represented by neural nerve net. So what are the neural net what you are having is your brain, which continually receives information, perceives it and makes appropriate decisions. Okay, so it is incoming as well as outgoing. Now coming to the second one, that is the receptors. The receptors convert stimuli from the human body or the external environment into the electrical impulses that convey information to the neural net, that is our brain. The effectors convert electrical impulses generated by the neural net into discernible responses as system outputs. Okay, so here we have been knowing that the neural net is our brain, and about the receptors and about the effectors, and we get the response. Okay, so when you are discussing about the human brain and when you are studying it, then first go through the block diagram of it, then with respect to the block diagram go towards the information what is provided, then try to elaborate it. First you need to give an introduction. The human nervous system can be viewed in a 3-stage system, which is 1 the receptor, second neural net, third is the effector. Then draw the block diagram, then elaborate one by one. This is the correct way to get the appropriate understanding as well as marks. Yeah, now coming to the pyramidal cell. This is nothing but the structure of our neuron. So what is this neuron? Neuron is the basic thing that is transferring the information. So what does your neuron have? Your neuron has synaptic terminals, axon, cell body, basal dendrites, apical dendrites, dendritic spines, synaptic inputs, segment of dendrite. So this is a very clear structure of the pyramidal cell, that is your neuron. Now this is the structural organization levels of the human brain. So first we go to the molecules, then we go to the synapses, then to the neural microcircuits, followed by dendritic trees, then the neurons, logical circuits, interregional circuits, and the central nervous system. Okay, so these are the algorithm where your levels of the brain is been implemented. In the previous lecture I have shown you about the different parts of the neuron, where you can understand what is the function of the every part of the neuron also. So this is a chiroarticular map of the cerebral cortex. Okay, here you can see the different areas are identified by the thickness of their layers and types of cells within them. Some of the key sensor areas are as follows, that is motor cortex, motor strip area, premotor area, frontal eye fields area, somatosensory cortex areas, visual cortex, auditory cortex. Okay, so what is the reason of showing this thing is that how your brain is able to perform all the multi required functions. We should also be able, we means our machine should also be able to perform this kind of machine, this kind of operation in an artificial way, but it should be that much capable of it. Not only the human brain is perfect, but we need to try to develop the machine also of an that particular level. We should try it. Now coming to the models of a neuron. A neuron is an information processing unit that is fundamental to the operation of a neural network. The block diagram of figure 5 shows the model of a neuron which forms the basis of designing a large family of neural networks which we will study later. Here we will identify three basic elements of the neural model. Now first we will see the model so that we can understand it. So what are the three basic? So this is the model, this is our inputs, these are our weights, this is the summing junction. Here they get activated and here you get the output. So what is that? First is a set of synapses or connecting links. The second one is an adder for summing the input signals, and the third one is an activation function for limiting the amplitude of the output of a neuron. So first we have the inputs, then the inputs are summed at the summing junction, then the activation limits, or in layman language it provides you the required output, or what the output we need to give, it gives it. So this is a non-linear model of the neuron which is labeled as K. Okay, so this is the mathematics that is related to the neuron model. So further we'll continue in the next lecture. If you have any doubts, you can feel free to comment. Thank you.